Stereo.
Attention! Attention! And now we welcome to the grand trivia stage our great leader, our grand Aquarium Emperor, the trivia master of this age, the past age, the upcoming age, and ages unknown. Please welcome Grand Triviamaster Fluval. Oh, that was a bad noise. Sorry, Master. Let's try again. Fluval. Oh, that's not. We must find the noise to pay tribute to all 5 dimensions you hold in your control. Yes, the fake trumpet for Fluval.
Hello and welcome to Grand Trivia, the only trivia show in any dimension where the points, they matter, and losing will cost you everything. I'm Fluval, Grand Trivia Master of the Grand Aquarium Empire, and with me as always is Intern Novella, here to celebrate her birthday.
Hello everyone. Behold suffering in the form of ice cream cake. That's right, we can do that now.
Yes,
this
suffering.
Is some delicious peak suffering.
Transmogrified into ice cream.
Amazing. So we're all celebrating the life of a being who's so much better than you.
Me.
Why? Yes. Oh, yes, Fluval is better, and I am better than you because I devoted that life to Fluval.
Yes,
So happy my birthday,
happy
Fluval.
Intern Quinox.
Thank you so much. I'm Intern Kristie. Thank you so much.
And we're commemorating it with a night of sci-fi questions.
Ice cream cake makes you suffer. That is, you know, not an insignificant part.
Oh, look at
of
that plate. That plate
Yeah.
disappears.
Ooh, yes. Yeah, because it's interdimensional.
It's an interdimensional plate. And you can join our interdimensional game of trivia by going to crowd.live and entering the code MVBWH or clicking the link pinned to the top of your chat.
Suffering.
Thank you for resubscribing, Opala Koala, who's been subscribed for 5 months and wishes a happy burps day.
This is like the cake from Sleeping Beauty.
Yes.
It's all like tilted over. But yeah, Fluval.
What?
Have you ever had your decanting day celebrated?
I love celebrating my decanting day. I think that it's a true joyful day in terms of the great suffering that's been inflicted for the whole universe. It's like watching a daredevil do a death defense.
Yep.
Yeah, that was. Are there crunchies in that cake?
There are little nuts on the outside, but on the inside, it is almond ice cream and vanilla ice cream and cake. However, there are not really crunchies inside. They are outside crunchies. And of course, these beautiful red cherries, red like Fluval.
Red like me, Fluval, Grand Trivia Master of the Grand Aquarium Empire. And you should join our game of trivia, all you are watching at home, like Science Fiction Walk Run, A Serious Dan, Nate, Speculative Nonfiction, Hapbo Birthday Toes, Intern Lactose Intolerance, and O Surprisa Copartila, and Vampire for Ice Cream Cake. JK, still pissed.
Since when? This is suffering.
It's suffering, Pug.
You're suffering put into the form of a cake so that I can properly celebrate The life that has been given to Fluval. This is high-class suffering.
Very sophisticated suffering.
We harvested it from people who had been watching BoJack Horseman over and over
It's
and
not
over
actually
again.
matter. It just looks like matter to your
Delicious.
lowly third-dimensional eyes, pug. And hello, Missy the Unbirthday Girl and Klaatu Bootleg Barada Nikto.
Ha!
And Pin the Tail on the Donk-ish. So that we're pretty full. We've given you plenty of time to join our game, so why don't we get it underway with the countdown?
I'm so excited. Science fiction has long been a love of mine, Fluval.
Yeah.
Did you know that?
Yeah, that's why it's the theme.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Thank you so much.
Before it was a radio show, The War of the Worlds was a novel. Who wrote it? Aldous Huxley, H.G. Wells, Isaac Asimov, or Jules Verne. Seen here is the planet saying hi to each other before their war begins.
Remember that time that they made up a story that a radio broadcast of the War of the Worlds caused people to lose their minds?
I do, and that was not true. But people bought it.
Part of a trilogy, even maybe.
Perhaps it is a trilogy of War World.
HG does stand for huge guy.
Huge Guy Wells.
Yep. He was a big guy.
Big
too.
guy, big wells. That's what they say about big guys. Big wells.
They're big.
Well, let's see what you all picked. One of you said Aldous Huxley, 13 said H.G. Wells, none said Isaac Asimov, none said Jules Verne. The correct answer is, of course, H.G. Wells.
H.G. Wells.
But we also have a speculative... Aldous Huxley's grandfather Thomas was H.G. Wells' academic advisor. So there is a connection between those books, so that one of you were kind of close.
You were.
And you should suffer with that knowledge that you were close,
Suffer.
but still missed. Let's go to the leaderboard where everyone got it correct, except for B. Davin.
B. Davin.
And hello.
Suffer.
And thank you. Welcome to our late entrants, including Fulip K. Dick and B. Davin. Well, why don't we move on to question number 2. Speaking of books, in the novel The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, who invented the pan-galactic gargle blaster? Was that Ford Prefect, Slarty Bartfast, Zaphod Beeblebrox, or Zarquan?
Zarquan. Which of the 5 of the trilogy of the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy books is your favorite, Fluval?
Of the 5-book trilogy? You mean the 6-book trilogy?
There's 6?
Yeah, because there's the last one that was published posthumously,
Oh,
co-written by someone else.
The
Was
Salmon of Doubt?
and another thing.
Oh, another thing.
Yeah, which is the final
so
installment of the
exciting.
Hitchhiker's Guide trilogy of 6 books.
Hmm.
And Ian Colfer, the author of the Artemis Fowl series, wrote it.
There's one in which Davy Jones was Slarty Bartfast, yes. Life, the Universe, and Everything, a big favorite of mine as well.
That's a great one.
Another one that I think you would like, perhaps Fluval, is the one that ends with the Earth being destroyed.
That's a great one. I mean, I also like the
And
first
then
one.
he died.
I also like the first one, which begins with the Earth being destroyed.
He becomes a humble sandwich maker. He being Arthur Dent.
Arthur Dent, not Douglas Adams, yeah. And Trills Pug says that Slarty Bartfast would be a good name for bootleg Bart to use in our games.
Ooh, yes.
Well, let's see what you picked. 4 of you said Ford Prefect, 2 of you said Slarty Bartfast, 7 said Zaphod Beeblebrox, none of you thought it was Zarkon, and the correct answer is... Yeah, that's a good... That's my favorite.
The president of the galaxy.
The former president of the galaxy. And the guide describes the effects of drinking a pangalactic gargle blaster as being similar to, quote, having your brain smashed out by a slice of lemon wrapped around a large gold brick.
Delicious.
As delicious as the suffering inflicted by our leaderboard, where Missy the on-birthday girl is in first, Nate in second,
Good one.
Maddie, A Whom Named in 3rd. Science Fiction Walk Run in 4th. Speculative Non-Fiction in 5th.
Yeah.
Pin the Tail on the Donk-ish in 6th. Klaatu, Bootleg Barada Nikto in 7th. Happo Birthday Toes in 8th. Intern Lactose Intolerance in 9th. A Serious Dan in 10th. Vampire But for Ice Cream Cake Just JK Still Piss in 11th. O Surprisa Copartila in 12th. Fulip K Dick in 13th. And B Davin in 14th.
There's a character who is the god of rain. And he hates fucking rain. He doesn't know he's the god of rain. So it's always fucking raining because the rain loves him and wants to be near him and shower him. And he's just pissed off all the fucking time. Yeah, I think about that guy quite a bit. So Long and Thanks for All the Fish, I think, is where Zaphod Beeblebrox meets God. Interesting guy.
Yeah, it is.
He, like, keeps the, like, types of rain because he hates them so much, so he names them. What? That's bizarre. That's a bizarre reason to not allow that book. There are other reasons, but I don't think they're legitimate.
No. I mean, like, I could see someone banning it for saying God disappeared in a puff of logic.
Yes. There's that part. Or maybe he's not God, he's just, like...
No, he's God.
The real president of...
No, it's God. According to my
guy
mind
who they
palace,
meet?
it's God. Yeah. Well, you discover God's final, or at least God's final message is in it.
No. There's another guy who they meet.
Oh.
He was like the true president of the galaxy. The BBC series was really cute.
It's very good. Well, it's very fun.
Yeah, the dude in the shack who runs everything, and he's a cat. And he's just, like, worried about his cat not eating. And, like, reestablishing the existence of a table every morning.
And then
It's fantastic.
And this book is more pro-computer because Douglas Adams had gotten his first Mac between the previous book and this one, so he started to like them. I mean, the radio series is the original.
Yes. And it's basically the same as the first book.
Yeah.
There is little to no difference, and I respect the hell out of him for that.
Know what I respect?
Oh, that's a different guy.
Yeah. That's a different guy.
Oh, no, that's the same guy. There's
No.
also the guy
Different
who's
guy.
in the insane asylum, but he's out. He's the only one who's not inside the insane asylum, and that's in San Francisco. He's just this guy, you know?
He's just
Moo.
this guy. There were multiple radio
Thank you so
series,
much.
Yeah.
Well, howdy, partner. I'm consuming a cake of suffering. Delicious. Absolutely stunning. No trace of canon in any other work. Ooh, I have to consume it.
That's the secret.
That's how this goes. Honestly, Dan, read these books.
They're very
And then
good.
read Robert Sheckley. Because
Yeah.
Robert Sheckley is another author who was operating at the same time, except he was in America. So he has these really funny satirical sort of books, like similar to Douglas Adams. But with this like strong American capitalism thing going on, like so it's wild. The Moos are fantastic. I had a Klondike bar, but I said it was in your honor. Thank you. We are honoring the life that is given to Fluval.
Great
My
question,
life
Redactron.
given to Fluval.
What did Well Howdy Partner
Oh,
do
yes.
for that Klondike
What did
bar?
you do? What did you do? They used Douglas
Moo.
Adams' book narration to make him a character in the third book.
Oh.
That's so sweet. I love that. I love that.
You know what I love?
What?
Question
Moo,
3.
moo, moo, moo. Moo, 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 moo.
Moo moo.
True or false, George Orwell accused Aldous Huxley of plagiarizing 1984 while writing Brave New World. Is that true or is that false?
Good answer, fool.
Great answer, Fool Aloof. You should be willing to destroy a planet for a Klondike bar. Oh.
I mean, at least a
Laid
Klondike
10
bar.
minutes on the acupressure mat. Interesting. Okay.
And how was that?
Well, Fool Aloof just destroyed a planet so they can get that Klondike bar.
delicious. The great thing about ice cream cake is, like, it forces you to eat it within a certain time frame.
That's true. You can't let it sit. Because if it sit...
I'm like, oh, this is getting kind of...
starting to fall apart?
A little bit.
Oh, wow. Well, let's see.
You might see a Daredevil stunt.
Let's see whose score is falling apart, because they've run out of time to answer. 11 of you said true. 2 of you said false. The answer is false. Brave New World is older than 1984,
Yep.
so he couldn't have plagiarized. However, there are plenty of connections between 1984 and Brave New World. First, Huxley taught Orwell when Orwell attended Eton. And when 1984 was published in 1949, Huxley sent Orwell a note saying, quote, I feel that the nightmare of 1984 is destined to modulate into the nightmare of a world having more resemblance to that which I imagined in Brave New World.
Yeah,
So
he still could have
basically-
accused him.
Yeah, but he didn't. And Orwell, you'll see people online say Orwell accused Huxley of plagiarizing the book by Yevgeny Zamyatin, We, in Brave New World, but if you actually read the review that they're referencing, it's not a plagiarism accusation. He's just saying he was definitely influenced by it. The vibe isn't as rank as people want to say. Much
So
like,
isn't that interesting? We all have to, like, read in high school the same books written by the same guys who all taught each other.
yeah, there's so many connections.
They were all in each other's classes.
Yeah.
Like, shouldn't we be reading some other stuff?
Yeah, it does seem a little bit incestuous to make you only read books by the same folks who know each other. That was also, I agree We is better, but that was also, well, wait, you're saying We is better than Brave New World, right? I liked We a lot.
I loved Brave New World.
We also,
Yeah.
THX 1138 also feels very influenced by We. Down to the people's names being letters and all that. Letters and numbers. I realize most names are letters.
I definitely like Brave New World more than 1984.
Oh, yeah.
Because 1984 is more a series of lectures
Yeah.
in book form.
Lectures are back in book form. Logan's Run has some
Run.
for sure. Brave New World's good.
It's good, and it's
Yeah.
written like a novel, so it's like good.
Yeah, it's actually a storyline.
Yeah, there's like
characters.
actually a story and characters, like mystery and stuff.
So only 15% of you got it right, which is 2 of you. So let's see what that did to our leaderboard. Nate and Klaatu
Nate!
Bootleg Barata Nikto in first and second. Hap Po Birthdato is in third. Missy the Unbirthday Girl got it wrong and is down in fourth. And Maddie, a whom named, is in fifth. Oh yeah, no, you can't read it without 1980. And it really sets up 1985 too. Yeah, this week's trivia is sponsored by books. Speaking of books, in the novella The Minority Report, who is the creator of the Pre-Crime Division? Bob Arctor, John Anderton, Rick Deckard, or Tom Cruise? That's true. Seen here is eyes watching you, similar to how Pre-Crime predicts your movements.
Imagine if we lived in a dystopia. Lol, no way. Oh, fudge.
I've read this, but I don't know.
I have also read it, but I could not tell you the answer. No, I totally could, but that's because I've seen the movie recently, which is a very good movie. Except for the random scene where an old lady kisses Tom Cruise out of nowhere.
Yeah, in a greenhouse.
There is no lead up to this,
No.
and nothing happens or is
No.
done about it afterwards.
No, it's completely unessential. I know it's not 2 of them being so wrong. Let's see what you picked. 1 of you said Bob Arctor. 2 of you said John Anderton. 7 of you said Rick Deckard. None of you thought it was Tom Cruise.
Nah.
John Anderton is the correct answer, who is the character played by Tom Cruise in the movie. But in the novella, he's an older man who, unsurprisingly, has a much younger wife. And he's shocked to discover that he's been predicted to murder the retired General Kaplan. And by the way, he's an older man. He's the creator of Pre-Crime, as we asked in the question. And through the course of the story, he uncovers a plot where General Kaplan aims to replace the Pre-Crime Division with the Army so that they can declare martial law. And then Anderton decides he will actually kill Kaplan as predicted to prevent the coup. So it's correct. But only because of the prediction. That Bob Arctor...
They did a TV show?
Yeah, they did. Bob Arctor is the protagonist of A Scanner Darkly. Rick Deckard is the protagonist of Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep? And Tom Cruise played
If you're
John
ever
Anderton.
curious, like, what it's like inside your head if you just, like, take LSD every day for, like, 2 years at least, read any of his books. Any of them. It's a gas. It's a total gas. I love them.
It's a real
No idea
gas.
if he created it.
He is.
Protagonist of Planet Earth. Yeah, pretty much. Yes, you absolutely
movie?
should.
Yeah,
You absolutely should.
it's
Free
true.
crime is the reason you still have crime, even with the pull-out method. Oh!
It's a different Tom.
Different Tom. Yeah. You don't worry too much about him. It's not really about him.
No, well, I mean...
It's about the weird, fun sci-fi. And
Yeah, it's about
just
the
a
set
really
pieces.
well-done movie.
And it's Buddy Steve. But you know what wasn't Buddy? The leaderboard. Wait.
Method with meat.
Oh. I got it. It was a cum joke. It was a gross fornication joke. But in first place on our leaderboard is Missy the Unbirthday Girl with 1,795 points. Nate in second with 1,731 points. Klaatu Bootleg Barada Nikto in third with 1,657. Science Fiction Walk Run in fourth, and Pin the Tail on the Donkish in fifth. Vampire But for Ice Cream Cake JK Still Piss in last place with negative 1,870 points. Let's see if they dig their way out of their hole with question 5. Which of these is a story written by Isaac Asimov? Silly Asses, Sucker Bait, The Bicentennial Man, or Time Pussy? Which of these is a real story written by Isaac Asimov? Seen here is a science fiction-y image because there's not that many GIFs of Isaac Asimov that show up in the search on CrowdPer.
We hope all of these are true. Yes! This is an interesting strategy. Voting with your heart.
Yeah, the
And
Shmi
the heart.
Skywalker approach to voting. You just go, huh, what does your heart tell you? Okay, boop.
And Time Pussy. What would you do if you had a time pussy? If I had a time pussy, how would it operate, right? Like, because would I be able to operate it myself? Or, like, is someone else able to operate it and, like, enter through it? Or, like, can I use it to, like, put me in a bubble and, like, whoever else, like, back in time, you know?
So you're assuming it would be a time travel method.
Yes. It lets other people say the P word, but not you. I don't know, Dan. That's interesting. Some of these, yeah, they do sound like they were written by Isaac Asimov. You just give birth to yourself over and over and over.
I just approved your comment. That was weird that it wouldn't let
This
you
is
type
sounding like the Montauk Project. Time Pussy is about a time-traveling cat.
it. Well, let's see what's
Is
the correct
it?
answer. None of you thought it was Silly Asses. 2 of you said Sucker Bait. 9 said The Bicentennial Man. 2 said Time Pussy. The correct answer is all of them. My Mind Palace describes the plot of Silly Asses as, quote, the people of Earth have developed atomic power. As such, they are recorded by Neron the Rigelian, the long-lived keeper of the galactic records, as having achieved maturity. But when the keeper learns that they have not yet penetrated space, and that they test their atomic
Penetrated.
weapons on their own planetary surface, he strikes them from the record, commenting that Earth people are, quote, silly asses.
You know, he's not a bad one to pick, honestly.
Sucker Bait is about the failed attempt to colonize the planet Troas.
Yeah.
Bicentennial Man is a short
Right.
story that served as the basis for the book The Positronic Man and the movie Bicentennial Man, and tells the story of a robot who seeks to become human and succeeds. And then Time Pussy is a short story from 1942 about cats from Pallas that live in 4 dimensions.
From Palace?
the planet Pallas.
I see. Like a palace, like a...
A planetoid. It's a real planetoid.
Oh, P-A-L-L-A-S, not
Yes.
P-A-L-A-C-E. I was like, from a palace of cats? Like, sure, but... I remember reading Silly Asses.
From the second asteroid. So it's not the planet. From the second asteroid.
And they're four-dimensional cats.
Yes.
Sort of like Studio Cat. I wonder if he had a Studio Cat.
They, quote, stretched into the middle o' next week, end quote, and, quote, would howl 24 hours before seeing a burglar and digest their meals 3 hours before eating them.
That's amazing. Too palace, too furious. Silly asteroid. What if Robin Williams was a robot who wanted to fuck?
That is what that movie asks.
I saw that movie on New Year's of whatever year it came out. And I fell off, like, the mailbox of my home. It was like a big brick thing. I fell off it and hit my head on the ground, and it bled like a ton, right? I was, like, fine. Like, there wasn't much of a cut. But, like, I was bleeding and bleeding and bleeding and had this, like, head injury, and then they, like, took care of it. We went and saw Bicentennial Man, and now it's just in my brain forever. I think it fundamentally changed me, like a cult leader when they get a head injury as a child. But usually it's a lot worse in their cases. Didn't the robots who... Ooh, does it still exist somewhere? I have serious beef with meds that make me fall asleep before shows. Beef week! That's a serious beef right there, LG. I wanted to show you this. I call it the cum ball because it just looks like a big gooey cum ball. It's for attaching things to, like, walls semi-permanently. Pre-crime. Should have stopped that. Should have stopped it. Should have stopped it. Someone should have been there. Last role of Leanne Thingpen, aka the Chief, the last judge who declared him human at the end of the movie. Oh, thank you so much.
Offers are currently being accepted for this suit.
Ooh. Forced to watch it at a sleepover. That is not a good sleepover movie. It is long and it is, like, thoughtful.
Intern Forrest saw it at the drive-in theater.
Cum ball. We love the cum ball.
So it's estimated to go between 60,000 and 120,000.
It usually does come out in ball form. It just shoots like bullets. That's such a funny robot suit. Multiple sleep. What the fuck are people doing at sleepovers?
Probably talking during
that they're watching this movie. I mean, I did watch The Prestige at a sleepover, and everyone else fell asleep, so it was just me alone watching The Prestige.
Well, let's see if they fell into the leaderboard, where Missy the Unbirthday Girl is in first, Klaatu Bootleg Barada Nikto in second, Pin the Tail on the Donkish in third, Nate in fourth, Science Fiction Walk Run bringing up fifth place.
2 million, I'm a real money bagger.
And so, you know, we've talked a lot about
this is true.
Isaac Asimov today, but we're actually going to take a break from Asimov for this halftime period and take a look at this interview with Ray Bradbury from Playboy magazine.
Baby. Playboy magazine. I'm sorry, what?
Yeah, Playboy interviewed him.
Are you going to read this to us?
We're going to read part of it.
Okay.
Because they asked him about...
Is this a sleepover? I mean, technically, I guess anything can be a sleepover if you fall asleep.
Because, yeah, so Asimov... So Bradbury, not great. Bradbury doesn't all hold up. He said CD-ROMs were for men.
CD-ROMs are for men.
CD-ROMs are for men more than women. And then he was called sexist, which is fair enough. Anyway, here they go. He said, you know, I'm toy-oriented. I write about toys, and I've got a lot of toys, hundreds of things. But computers are toys, and men like to mess around with smart, dumb things. They feel creative. Playboy. But computers aren't just toys. They're tools for the future. Bradbury. People are talking about the internet as a creative tool for writers. I say, BS, stay away from that. Stop talking to people around the world and get your work done. We're being flim-flammed by Bill Gates and his partners. Look at Windows 95. That's a lot of flim-flam, you know? Playboy. Why is it flim-flam? Bradbury, because it doesn't give most people anything more than what they want. Ironically, the phrasing of this from a writer, tricky. Because
mouth around.
It doesn't give most people anything more that they want they already have. Because it doesn't give most people anything more that want they already have.
What the fuck?
On top of that, when they buy it, they have to buy other things to go with it. So you're talking about hundreds of dollars from people who can't afford it. The Windows thing isn't bought by women. Just a hard turn to women don't buy Windows. I bet if you look at the sales figures, it's 80% men, crazy young men or crazy older men who love toys. For a man who's built a career looking into the future, you seem skeptical of technology, CD-ROMs, the internet, and multimedia, and then he interrupts to say, it's all meaningless until you teach reading and writing. It's not going to do a bit of good if you don't know how to read and write.
Sure, man.
And then Playboy says, but reading is involved. On computers, people can interact with works of fiction, choosing to move the plot any way they want to. Again, one of the cool, high-tech, innovative ways computers are working. Bradbury, don't tell me how to write my novel.
Got him!
Don't tell me how to write my novel. Don't tell me you've got a better ending for it. I have no time for that.
Oh my god. Ooh, it might be good time for
That's what I was trying to set up.
Women should be in Windows,
anyway,
not on Windows.
To prove Ray Bradbury wrong, not Isaac Asimov. To prove Ray Bradbury wrong, here's a creative work made on a computer as we...
Oh my gosh, Gretchen, have you heard about Reese's Cup Fusion at Hershey Park? It sounds amazing.
Yeah, I heard you become some kind of secret agent. But who are we protecting Reese's Central from? Like, evil chocolate chips?
No, silly. It's more intense than that. We have to stop the diabolical Pop Rocks trio.
Pop Rocks trio? Are they armed with fizzy weapons or something?
I think so, and they're led by the notorious M&M melt-in-your-mouth marauder. He's scary, but delicious.
Well, I hope we have some backup. What about the Sour Patch Snipers?
No, they defected to the sweet side. Now, it's the Twizzler Thieves and the Renegade Risinettes we have to worry about.
Oh no, are they going to pull a licorice lasso on us?
Maybe, but Commander Cup will guide us. Together, we'll save Reese's Central and snack on victory.
Oh my god.
And that was made by a computer.
Incredible. They are floating as they speak. They are at Rick and Morty's house. They're talking about Sour Patch Snipers. Clap, 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 clap. What did I tune into?
You tuned into
That's the question we want you to ask whenever you tune into this show.
Yes. Though that's one of two questions. That's one of two questions.
What's the second question, Fluval?
What's the second question?
You said that
Yeah.
what is going on here is the first
so
question.
What's going on here is the first question we want you to ask. The second question we want you to ask is, on Hershey Park's Reese's Cup Fusion, writers become agents who help the Reese's security chief, Commander Cup, protect Reese's Central from which of these villains?
Can we also get this one, Fluval? Fluval? Can we get this one?
Because it doesn't give most people anything more that want they already have. Ray Bradbury.
After you're done cranking your hog and doing this dementia-riddled interview.
Also,
None of you thought he was going to be going on like this when he was writing about beds that rock you to sleep and aliens who can psychically invade your mind, bitches. Come on. 10 questions. That's just on Hershey's Cup Fusion. Or what can computers give people that they want already?
That would be great. Also, what's the biggest mistake NASA has made? Playboy asked. Ray Bradbury says they should have done the space shuttle before the Apollo missions. The shuttle's a big mailbox. An expensive experimental lab. It's not nearly as exciting as it should be.
Okay. What would be more exciting?
The Apollo. Going to the moon.
Okay. You do understand we have to go to space before we can go to the moon, Ray?
Yeah, this is... Oh, here we go. Here we go. What's your motivation for... This is the Playboy follow-up to whatever he's about to say is... Of course it is. But the Playboy follow-up is, do you admit that that's an unrepentant, egotistical view? So let's see what he said. What's your motivation for writing? I had decided to be a magician well before I decided to be a writer. I was the little boy who would get up on stage and do magic wearing a fake mustache, which would fall up during the performance. I'm still trying to perform these tricks. Now I do it with writing. Also, writers write because of a need to be loved. I suppose that's greedy, isn't it?
Okay.
Writing has helped me in other ways. When I started writing seriously, I made the major discovery of my life. That I am right and everybody else is wrong if they disagree with me.
I'm so glad that he was able to find that kind of guiding principle.
What a great thing to learn. Don't listen to anyone else and always go your own way. Playboy, do you admit that's an unrepentant, egotistical view?
Ooh.
Bradbury, unfortunately, I don't think I keep my ego in check very well. I try to remember that my voice is loud, which is an ego problem. But at least I don't suffer from self-deluding identity problem like, say, Carl Sagan does.
What the? Why does he believe this?
And also, this is all published on raybradbury.com.
He was not like a hard sci-fi writer. Like, it was very fantasy sci-fi, right? Like, he came up with fun inventions, but he like didn't really talk about how they work the way that like Asimov more would even, but he was like playing with society stuff. Sagan comes at Bradbury with a
Playboy.
later.
What's the problem with Sagan?
I don't think
that's what he's about
Ray
to say.
Bradbury?
That's what he's about to say. Ray Bradbury. With each passing year, he grows stiffer just because he goes around thinking he's Carl Sagan. Just as Norman Mailer thinks he's Norman Mailer and Gore Vidal thinks he's Gore Vidal. I don't think I'm Ray Bradbury. That's a big distinction. It doesn't matter who you are. You mustn't go around saying who you are, or else you get captured by the mask of false identity. It's the work that identifies you. So don't be egotistical, but don't listen to anyone who tells you you're wrong ever.
Unless it's me. Who is this man? This is my question, because I read a lot of his books that scared the shit out of me when I was a child.
Intern correction. He's about to go off on you.
Oh, please.
Some critics say you rely too much on fantasy and not enough on science to be a respected science fiction writer. Ray Bradbury, I don't care what the science fiction trade technicians say either. They are furious that I get away with murder.
What the fuck?
I use a scientific idea as a platform to leap into the air and never come back. This keeps them angry at me. They still begrudge me putting an atmosphere on Mars in the Martian Chronicles.
Wow, I have a book of poems by Bradbury somewhere.
One more thing, and then we'll see who he looks like.
His later works were not that good. They were kind of ranty like this.
He likes Aldous Huxley.
Of course he likes
Huxley. Who he
Huxley.
says is like most Englishmen, most intellectual Englishmen are very polite, and they treat you as if you were the genius, which is a sweet thing to do. Years after we met, I was a panelist along with Huxley discussing the future of American literature. However, I was disappointed when he refused to admit that science fiction is the only way for fiction to go.
Huh.
And then Huxley offered him drugs, and Bradbury said, "No, I don't want anyone lifting the trapdoor on my head. They may not go down again."
I think that's really funny. Because that is exactly what it was. What Aldous Huxley was like. He was just like, "Hey, want some drugs?" To everyone, which is something that's just so wonderful about him. I think. Yes, he took a lot of acid. He took a lot of shrooms. He took basically anything he could get his hands on to have a psychotropic, like a psychedelic experience.
Okay, so he
does look like the chicken lawyer from Futurama. He also looks a little bit like Gene Roddenberry. So we need to pull up some of these pictures.
This is Bradbury.
You
know who he looks like?
Who?
Asimov.
He does. Wait, but pull up Roddenberry too, because he looks more like Roddenberry than he does Asimov. Asimov has those crazy mutton chops.
So does...
Classic garage head.
Yeah.
You don't want to lift the trap door of Fluval's Mine Palace. You'll never come back.
Okay, here's Gene.
I love how these men all think that, like, there's something, like, really, like, important and crazy deep within them that just can't be lit out. It can't be lit out by the drugs. When, like, actually they're gonna come down like Huxley and just be like, why aren't we all just a little kinder to each other?
And so
like,
there's
that's what they're so
there's the
afraid
big
of.
difference between Ray Bradbury and Gene Roddenberry. Ray Bradbury, actually women can't orgasm. Gene, women can definitely orgasm, and I know how I make it happen. And I know how it happens with Vulcans, Klingons, Andorians, all of them.
These could just be all old versions of the Doctor. These could be. Let's see Ray again.
There's Ray. Because again, Gene Roddenberry it appears on Inside Star Trek on a track that's just him talking with Mark Lenard, the guy who plays Sarek, about how Vulcans have sex.
He looks kind of like the Thing. I think it's just the tinting on this picture, how he's kind of orange and has all of those lines that are like very straight across. He looks like an actor, I can't remember, right? Like he looks, yeah, like that. Yes. That's what Bradbury looks like. Younger Bradbury does look more like Asimov. What does Huxley look like?
Well, first, here's young Ray Bradbury, so you have that reference.
Wow, what a dorky looking son of a bitch.
Who to me looks like Roy Orbison.
Wow, Aldous Huxley looks a lot like Tarkin, but like a little cuter, I'm gonna say. Looks like Tarkin. Looks like an Admiral Tarkin. Looks like PJ Byrne. Bronze model of Reagan. Yeah, look at this guy.
This is Huxley.
This is Huxley.
Wow, you're right. Young Bradbury does look like PJ Byrne.
Who's PJ Byrne?
Bradbury, Byrne.
Oh.
Bradbury, Byrne.
Shit.
We gotta
yeah.
get PJ Byrne in a Bradbury biopic where he yells at the Playboy person. He does look like Alan Sherman.
Bradburying time.
He looks a lot like Alan Sherman.
Who's Alan Sherman?
Hello, Mudda. Hello, Fada. Here
I don't know what
am
he looks like.
He looks like this.
Yep. Those are all the same man. Look at this snack. Let's look at this snack picture of Aldous Huxley. It looks like it's from your Mind Palace.
It is from my Mind Palace.
He's
It looks
like
a lot
kind
like
of a
Wikipedia.
snack. Like, I would take his hand and let him lead me down the rabbit hole into the deep recesses of my mind. Like, I would. Like, I mean, would you not? Like, is that something you're not gonna, like, look at this man and be like, I don't know. Like, he looks like death, but I kind of trust him, you know? I trust him.
This is Aldous.
Ugh. Look at that snack. Look at that. That's less of a snack. we gotta forgive age, because everyone looks more like a snack when they're like 25 or 32.
I love this side by side of
Camp Granada.
Aldous and Orwell.
You could do a Brave Nude World. Ooh. That's Huxley and that's
Orwell's
Orwell?
on the right. Yeah.
Orwell is hotter. Oh, that's George Orwell.
Yeah.
Not the actor who also did The Thing.
What?
The one who did The Thing. Who was like, I'm the radio guy, and I also directed a movie, and I have a voice. Orson Welles.
I thought you meant the actor who played The Thing.
Thank you. No, not Aldous Huxley. I had an idea in my head when I was a young person.
I thought you meant Michael Chiklis.
I was like, before I get into high school, I'm going to read every single one of Aldous Huxley's books. And I fucking did. I understood like 2/3 of what I read.
Again.
But it was worth it. Who's that?
Orwell.
What a British man.
Yeah.
What a background actor in any Doctor Who episode. What a British looking motherfucker. Hard Brit. Hard Brit.
And then this is Huxley again.
Oh, he's just like, he's got those cheekbones,
Yeah, this
right?
is the Cillian Murphy.
Oh, you're so
Vibes.
right. He has the Cillian Murphy energy where it's like, you look ethereal, but like in a masculine way. Why is his top lip brown? Because he's better than you.
The colorization process. Yeah.
He's got the Bowie thing going on, right? That, like, you know, take my hand, open the doors of my perception.
I mean, actually, like, honestly,
Yeah.
if he wants to keep doing the, like,
Oh, he's
The
gotta be
biopic?
Huxley.
Yeah.
Wait, the other photo.
yeah, it was his mustache was on his lip.
Oh, yeah. And he has no fucking lips because he's so goddamn British.
How British is he?
He's so British that J.K. Rowling invented him from full cloth while in a turf rage.
That's pretty British.
He's in the House of Lords now.
Oh, like Julian Fellows, creator of Downton Abbey?
Sure.
Because he's a literal lord. Which makes his whole
Literal
"Aren't Rich People Great" hit a
lord.
little different.
Well, now that we've, like, horn-dogged over Huxley a little bit,
Yeah, now that we've cybered about Huxley, let's go to the next
Cybered.
question. William Gibson is one of the pioneers of cyberpunk. What was his
Oh.
debut novel? Count Zero, Mona Lisa Overdrive,
Ooh.
Neuromancer, or Pattern Recognition, all actual works by William Gibson, who also did Johnny Mnemonic and other short stories and novels. But which was his first?
have heard, and this has actually worked out for me, if you see a book by William Gibson on a male individual who is masculine leaning bookshelf when you're like going home with them for like a little fun time, fucking leave. They're either annoying or boring as fuck. So fucking boring. Ugh. Good birthday, Huxley. Sexy vibes. But yeah, isn't William Gibson, this is like one of those books, like Neuromancer. Like people like think they're really
Yeah, it's
cool.
Neuromancer.
Yeah, they're like, you should try Neuromancer. And I fucking tried it. I could not get through like
Yeah, no,
any of
Intern
it.
Forrest couldn't really make its way through it either. But it was the first one. It was released in 1984, and is the only novel to win the Nebula Award, the Philip K. Dick Award, and the Hugo Award. It follows Henry Case, a hacker who just has to do one last job.
That's the fucking thing. It's like, it's not for you. I just didn't get it. It's like Fight Club, except I was super into Fight Club and did not get that it was a satire until embarrassingly late.
Intern Forrest moderated internet forums. It was for him. He was a cyberspace cowboy back when, you know, well, you gotta watch that again.
We do. It's kind
This is
of
my
one of the
idea.
most important things. It should be a bumper.
Yeah, it should.
We need to just be able to bring that up. It's always one last job. You know, they're always like 2 days from retirement. One last job. Like, I feel like I hear this over and over. When will the wheels of capitalism cease?
This is actually the first film adaptation of Neuromancer.
Oh, I'm so excited.
How about letting me write about the hacker for the next issue?
Do you know anything about hackers? Can you jam with the console cowboys in cyberspace?
What?
Ever read Neuromancer?
Huh?
Ever experienced the new wave? Next wave? Dream wave? Or cyberpunk? I didn't think so.
I love
Know
that.
the hacker stories.
Yeah, I guess you should.
You ever read
We
Neuromancer?
should learn about all this hacker stuff.
In there. It's a world where you're judged by what you say and think, not by what you look like. A world
Sensually
where curiosity
tapping
and
the monitor.
imagination equals power.
Just like
You
yearning
need
of
more
like, I
faith
wish
with
I was
both
in the
people.
computer
Work
all the
with me,
time.
Work with me.
Can you jam with the console cowboys
I mean,
in
Julia
cyberspace?
Stiles is great. She was wonderful in the Bourne trilogy.
She was awesome in
Where
10
she
Things I
once
Hate About
again
You.
used computers
To jam with the console
to jam with
cowboys
the
in
console
cyberspace.
cowboys in cyberspace.
To experience the new wave, dream wave, vapor wave. Orphan first kill. No, but I've heard a lot about it. Is it
Somehow
Julia
Stiles has returned.
Is it Julia Stiles in Orphan First Kill as the mom in Orphan First Kill? We need more letters.
Hell yeah, she married a camera assistant. That's cool. Whenever an actor marries a crew person, I'm like, oh, cool.
Right? That's like, oh, like you hang out.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you're just hanging out on set. Like, you're having a good time.
She was Trisha Albright in Orphan First Kill.
First Kill.
She adopted
the orphan.
The titular orphan with her titular first kill.
Was she the first kill, or was someone else killed first?
I closed that in my mind palace. You have to watch the movie to find out. Actually, you know what? No, the actors are on strike. I'm spoiling it.
Oh, yes, please.
I'm spoiling it.
I love spoiling it.
For
Nope,
the strike.
don't watch it. Don't support
watch
Struck
it.
Studios.
I know they're not. Look, I know SAG-AFTRA is not asking for a boycott, but hey, maybe you don't need to watch it.
Yeah, don't do that. Support the strike. Support the strike. Spoil it. We do have to spoil it. So she's the mom, right? So basically,
mom, yeah, it doesn't seem like she's not the first kill. She's not the first kill.
No, who's the first kill? The
Gunnar.
little girl?
Gunnar.
The little boy.
Gunnar.
Who's Gunnar?
Gunnar Albright. No, her husband.
Oh, she kills.
No,
Daddy
I'm wrong.
first?
Her kid. Their kid. Yeah.
Yeah, she kills the kid first, and then
Gunnar.
she kills the mom, and then she's like, "But Daddy, I'm actually 30 years old, and I'm attracted to you. Let's run away together." And he's like, "I'm horrified beyond belief," and she throws him off a roof.
No, that's the original, isn't it? In this
No.
one, Alan helps kill his wife
He does?
for her. Trisha and Lena both slip and end up clinging to the roof, begging Alan to save them, with Lena claiming Trisha attacked her, and Trisha trying to reveal the truth about Lena, the titular orphan, who's actually in her 30s. Unable to save both of them, Alan chooses to help quote-unquote Esther, her fake name, causing Trisha to lose her grip and fall to her death.
Because he's like, "Oh no, I mean, I need to protect this little girl."
Alan then checks Lena's face, which causes her fake teeth to fall out. Realizing she is not Esther, Lena tries to defend herself by saying she did it for them, and also confesses her love for him.
Lena, did you do it for them?
When Alan calls her a monster, Lena inadvertently pushes Alan off the roof to his death, And Lena again dresses herself as Esther and leaves the burning house after cleaning the blood off her face. Later, Esther
legally distinct.
is moved to an orphanage where she waits.
Orphan first chill, am I right? You're trying to spoil it, but you're not ruining the good part. Well, that's good. Because I don't know what you mean by the good part. I just listened to podcasts about it.
And I just watched our leaderboard.
These aren't Esther's teeth. They're the teeth of a killer, Bella.
Where that was such a great part on Lost. These aren't Esther's teeth. In first place, it's Pin the Tail on the Donkish. In second, it's Klaatu, Bootleg Barada Nikto. In third, Missy, the Unbirthday Girl. In fourth, A Serious Dan. And in fifth, Maddie.
Moo 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 moo.
A whom name.
Moo moo moo.
Moo moo moo.
Thank you for that moo too, Blogtoven.
Moo 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 moo.
As we go to question number 7. Which sci-fi
Moo
author...
moo 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 moo.
Which sci-fi author was a spokesperson for Radio Shack's Tandy computer in 1981? Was that Douglas Adams, Isaac Asimov, Ray Bradbury, or Robert A. Heinlein?
I'm just imagining now Ray Bradbury with all the shit that he said in that article in a commercial, just being like, computers are for men, and men are stupid. They play with their toys.
Are you a man? Buy a computer.
Are you a man? Buy a computer. But you're still a pointless baby for playing with it.
Moo.
Yeah, he sounds like that. Moo. Moo. Moo.
You just moo. Here a bad take, everywhere a bad take. Ray Bradbury had a take. E-I-E-I-O.
Oh my god. Here a bad take, there a bad take. Douglas Adams loves computers and tech. Very true.
Sure.
Yeah, he got the first Apple computer. He loved Apple products too. I remember someone who thought HD reminded me of the skipper from Gilligan's Island. You're totally correct. Let's go, Brad baby. Oh.
Well, let's see what you picked. 3 of you said Doug Adams. 4 of you said Isaac Asimov. 2 of you said Ray Bradbury. And 4 of you said Bob Heinlein.
Bobby.
Little Bobby Hines.
Bobby Hines.
But the correct answer is Isaac Asimov.
Asimov! Look at our guy.
He said he was persuaded to agree to promote the computer after a Radio Shack employee taught him how it worked.
Iconic.
And he was especially excited that he could correct typos more easily than with a handwritten thing. And that's why he did ads like this one, saying a few years ago the idea of a computer you could put in your pocket was just science fiction. Isaac Asimov, renowned science and science fiction author.
It's true.
And the ad said, back when computers filled entire rooms, Isaac Asimov was writing about computers you could hold in your hand. Radio Shack's TRS-80 pocket computer turned my dreams into reality. Now I can take the power of a true computer wherever I go, says Asimov. The TRS-80 pocket computer is programmable in BASIC. Isaac, however, would rather write novels than programs. If you're like me, you'll want to get a low-cost interface that lets you use Radio Shack's ready-to-run programs.
He tried to wear a tie and they arrested him.
There are programs for engineering, finance, and statistics, even real estate and aviation.
Ooh.
Programs stay in memory even when it's turned off.
Even when it's off?
Even when it's off. And one of the coupon you could send in was, I want a glimpse of the future. A glimpse of the future? Send me a TRS-80 computer catalog.
Wow.
Which was at 1300 One Tandy Center.
Tandy Center. Yeah, right? You could write boobs on it. You could write boobs.
You could.
You could.
It was such a big deal that UPI wrote it up in 1981. Famed science fiction writer signs with Tandy. Dateline, Fort Worth, Texas. Isaac Asimov, one of the world's foremost science fiction writers, has signed his first commercial endorsement contract and will promote the high technology products of Radio Shack, a subsidiary of Tandy Corp, the writer said Thursday. But I'm not here to make myself into commercial enterprise, the Russian-born Asimov told United Press International. If the company hadn't asked me, I wouldn't have gone through with it. That's usually how commercial things work. The company asks you. But they did ask me. This is my first commercial endorsement. The contract is open-ended. They can stop it or I can stop it. Or it might go on until I die or Radio Shack goes out of business. Both things that have since happened. Asimov said he made the decision in part because of the similarities between a Radio Shack computer and a device described in his popular Foundation trilogy.
Ooh, what device?
Doesn't say.
A computer? A pocket computer?
Doesn't say.
Asimov is offer only. Who knew?
That's true.
Excitement of Tandy. Pretty exciting. That's pretty fantastic. I love that. I love it for him.
I love it for Klaatu, Bootleg, Barata Nikto, who's in first place. With Science Fiction Walk Run in second, Pin the Tail on the Donkish falling into third. You know, I should have been saying, Pin the Tail on the Donkish.
Wait, why do they keep
it's censored a vibrator.
Why do they keep...
I allowed it. I think it shouldn't get censored again.
Censoring Dan.
Because Nightbot's being a little bit of annoying... A silly person.
Stop censoring, Nightbot. Stop it. It's a woke wob. It is.
It is. And Nate is in fifth place.
Congratulations.
Behind speculative nonfiction. Automod is a real prud.
It is such a prud. It's such a prud.
It sure is. But, you know, speaking of Isaac Asimov, Isaac Asimov's 3 Laws of Robotics first appeared in which short story? Little Lost Robot, Robot AL-76 Goes Astray, Runabout, or 3 Laws of Robotics?
What are the 3 laws of robotics, Fluval?
They are, the first law is, a human may not injure a human being or through an action allow a human being to come to harm. My voice was sounding a little weird there for a second.
You mean a robot shall not harm a human being?
That's what I said.
You said a human being shall not harm a human being.
You passed the test. First law, A robot may not injure a human being or through an action allow a human being to come to harm.
Okay.
The second law, a robot must obey the orders given it by human beings, except where such orders would conflict with the first law. Exactly. I was doing the Turing test. You told the difference between a robot and a human.
Yeah, humans can commit violence whenever they want.
The third law, a robot must protect its own existence as long as such protection does not conflict with the first or second law.
Oh, cute.
Yeah, sex robot.
Sex robot, sex robot, sex robot, sex robot.
4 of you got it right. The correct answer is 1942's Runaround, which appeared in the 1950 Collection Eye Robot.
What's the story?
What's Runaround about?
Yeah, what happens? Because I do remember reading it, and I don't remember why, but a robot was running around, and they had to try and get it to stop by understanding the programming of the balance of the 3 laws.
So the plot dilemma,
Well, space.
as is often the case with good old Isaac Az, is
don't fall in love.
the conflict in the application of the 3 laws of robotics. Usually, it's about the ambiguities of the laws because the text of the laws has plenty of wiggle room. But the robot featured in Runaround is actually following the laws as intended. But it finds it impossible to obey both the second and third law at the same time, which freezes it in a loop of repetitive behavior. So it is struggling to both obey orders given to it by humans and protecting its own existence. And let's get into it. Okay. How deep do you want to go into this?
Does it get more interesting? I don't remember it being any more interesting than that.
Okay, we're gonna do the whole thing.
To be honest. Okay.
In 2015, Powell, Donovan, and robot
2015?
SPD-13, known as Speedy,
Speedy! What a droid name.
are sent to Mercury to restart operations at a mining station, which was abandoned in 2005.
Oh, okay.
They discover that the photocell banks that provide life support to the base are short on selenium and will soon fail. The nearest selenium pool is 17 miles away, and since Speedy can withstand Mercury's high temperatures, Donovan sends him to get it. Powell and Donovan become worried when they realize Speedy has not returned after 5 hours. They then use a more primitive robot to find Speedy and try to analyze what happened. When they find Speedy, they discover he is running in a huge circle around a selenium pool. Further, they notice that Speedy's gait includes a particular rolling stagger, a noticeable side-to-side lurch. When Speedy is asked to return with the selenium, he begins talking oddly, quoting Gilbert and Sullivan, who is this, Aaron Sorkin, and showing symptoms that if he were human would be interpreted as drunkenness.
Ooh,
Powell eventually realizes that the selenium source contains unforeseen danger to the robot. Under normal circumstances, Speedy would observe the second law, obey orders given by humans. But because Speedy was so expensive to manufacture and not a thing to be lightly destroyed, the third law had been strengthened, so that his allergy to danger is unusually high.
I see.
And
this is like debugging the short story.
Right. And as the order to retrieve the selenium was so casually worded with no particular emphasis, Speedy cannot decide whether to obey it following the second law or protect himself from danger following the third.
I feel like I'm like Speedy, just like problems with prioritization.
And so he's oscillating between positions, farther from selenium, in which the order outweighs the need for self-preservation, and nearer the selenium, in which the compulsion of the third law is bigger and pushes him back. The conflicting laws cause what is essentially a feedback loop, which confuses him, so he oscillates around the point where the two compulsions are of equal strength, which makes him seem drunk.
That's what happens when the sex robot spanks you.
Yeah, under the second law, he should return to base, but that fails as the conflicted positronic brain cannot accept new orders. An attempt to increase the compulsion of the third law fails. They place oxalic acid, which can destroy Speedy in his path, but it merely causes Speedy to change his route until he finds a new equilibrium between the avoid danger law and the follow order law. The only thing that trumps both is the first law.
Oh, okay.
Which says he cannot allow a human being to come to harm, so Powell decides to risk his life by going out in the heat.
Wow.
Hoping that the first law will force Speedy to overcome his cognitive dissonance and save Powell's life. And it works.
Oh, wow. So it's like giving a robot a paradox to make it stop.
Yeah.
You like give it a human who's in danger to make it go again.
You give it a second paradox to break the first paradox. Why don't we go to the leaderboard? We don't need to oscillate. We're going to be decisive and go to the leaderboard.
Yes.
Where Clot 2 Bootleg Barata Nikto is in first place.
Yeah, it's not much less dry than the summary.
No.
That's why I was like, I don't remember it being
That's Asimov. Oh, that's so Asimov.
That's so Asimov.
Speculative nonfiction in second. Science fiction walk run in third. Missy the Unbirthday Girl in fourth. And Maddie, a whom named, in fifth place. Now we have our penultimate question up next. So why don't we
penultimate
fly
question.
to it? How many books are in the Foundation series? Enter the number.
The Good, the Bad, and the Bradbury.
Type in how many books are in the Foundation series out of any numbers.
I remember when I was a kid, there was like
How many books?
There was like this screed in the beginning of one of my Ray Bradbury like Illustrated Man or something. And it was about how he was like, these activists are asking me to add women to my stories. But when I was writing it, no one was adding women to the thing. So we should be studying it like a history book rather than changing it or being mad at me for not changing it. And I'm just like, oh, wow. Like, I got that before the internet. Fuck, I should know this. Alex listened to the books on tape and told me everything about it. They're good.
3 of you said 7.
Series.
3 of you said 3. 1 of you said 69. 1 of you said 17. 1 said 13.
Nice.
1 said 4. 1 said 23. 1 said 9. And 1 said 1. Well, 3 of you got it right. Oh, and Opala Koala said, on Hershey Park's Reese's Cup Fusion, writers become agents who help the Reese's security chief, Commander Cup, protect Reese's Central from which of these villains?
Amazing.
Well, 3 of you got it right.
What is it?
Is it 7 or is it 3? It's 7.
7!
So, for around 30
Nice.
years, it was a trilogy of books, collecting various short stories that were originally published between 1942 and 1950.
Foundation.
Yes.
Second Foundation.
Yes.
Third Foundation.
It was 1951.
Foundation and Empire.
Exactly. In 1951, Foundation was published. In 1952, Foundation and Empire was published. And in 1953, Second Foundation was published. Asimov later added 2 sequels, Foundation's Edge and Foundation and Earth, and 2 prequels, Prelude to Foundation
Which
and
is really
Forward
good.
the Foundation, which adds up to 7.
I would definitely advise Prelude to Foundation. I think that it's definitely his juicier like stories. It's much more humanly written. And it does a lot of the same fun stuff that the other ones do. I really liked Second Foundation. Foundation and Earth gets a little bit like, oh, look, a stunning, beautiful young girl from a planet where everyone is one person. And so she's like, I will be the hottie in your ship for you to have a hottie in your ship and have no agency of my own. So, you know, fucking love kindly time, robots. That's fucking the thing, though, is the end of Foundation and Earth is really, really good.
Yeah.
It's really, really good.
And there's there's those cool
Probably
concepts.
just didn't get it. Probably
You just wish it didn't have the toxic masculinity of the era.
like every other part of it is fucking amazing.
But while we're recommending Foundation things, I would recommend the Ergs song Second Foundation.
Oh.
Which is inspired by Second Foundation, the book.
I love that.
Yeah.
But in any case, you should all be reading Robert Sheckley.
Yes.
Because he's not as much of an asshole
No.
about women.
And there's an audiobook where John Hodgman...
That's not one of his best books, though.
No, but the audiobook's good.
Read Immortality, Inc.
Yeah.
It's really funny.
Exactly. If the Second Foundation had our backs, we'd all sleep a little better tonight.
Okay,
the Erg
so
song.
Immortality, Inc. is about a man from the 50s who gets in a car accident and wakes up.
Yeah, your former
in a
coworker,
new-
John Hodgman.
Yeah, in a new body in like 500 years later. He is a prototype person or whatever being reawakened for a company called Immortality, Inc. And it's about afterlife insurance companies.
2110. For a price, the Hereafter Corporation guaranteed life after death, but they couldn't promise what it would be like.
Yeah, because they don't know what it is. They just know that it exists, and that some people can have it, but other people don't. And it's this guy, like, it's so funny. They have to go, like, piss off a billionaire's ghost at one point by, like, fucking up, like, his random death temple, and it's like there are zombies. Like, it's very satire of the insurance and capitalism industries.
Seventh Victim was also good.
Seventh Victim was also very good. Same as Hunter Victim.
Yeah, it's the same story, right? Or similar stories?
Similar stories. They're very, they're kind of the Most Dangerous Game / Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Yeah, those ones felt more Twilight Zone.
But his books of short stories are really, really good.
Yeah, they're very good.
Short stories, like, are really, really good. Yeah. If it's Futurama-y. I would say it's more like Futurama.
I see that,
like, it'll really, like, draw you in and make all these really clever, funny things. And then out of nowhere, it'll make you sob.
Yeah.
Like, in that, like, heartbroken but full way. Like, my heart is so full that it's breaking. Like, that kind of fucking Futurama shit. Where you're like, I'm angry at you! But I'm still watching Fry's dog. The Illuminatrix trilogy. No, is this good? Tell me all about it. Fluval.
What?
Have you read the Illuminatrix trilogy? Tell me all about it.
You were telling me to tell you about it.
Yeah, but I'm also telling a Whom Named Maddie.
I was waiting for a Whom Named Maddie to tell you about
Things
it.
from the Void apparently read those. But you do have access to your Mind Palace.
Yeah, but I thought we could get the first person thing. But sure, I'll pull it up in my Mind Palace.
Just because it'll take a Whom Named Maddie a moment, so I don't want, like, a Whom to feel like, you know, we're just...
Illuminatus trilogy was written by Robert Shea and Robert Anton Wilson.
Okay.
It's a satirical postmodern science fiction influenced adventure story, a drug, sex, and magic-laden trek through a number of conspiracy theories, both historical and imaginary, related to the author's version of the Illuminati. And it switches between a third and first-person perspective in a non-linear narrative.
That sounds really fun.
That does.
That sounds incredibly fun. That sounds absolutely like something
really cool,
I want to check out.
We should check that out.
Yeah, we'll report back. Does it hold up? Does it hold up? Just like our trivia. Does it hold up?
Let's see whose lead is. Oh, the correct answer was 7, which we went over.
Yeah.
But let's see whose lead holds up. As Science Fiction Walk Run is in first place, Maddie, whom named, in second. Klaatu Bootleg Barada Nikto in third. Pin the Tail on the Donkish. On the Donkish. In fourth, and Speculative Nonfiction in fifth, as we go to our final question. Drag these books.
Oh, what?
From oldest at the top to newest at the bottom. Brave New World, Stranger in a Strange Land, Dune, and Foundation.
Well, we talked about when
we talked about
Brave
a
New
couple
World
of these
came out. Stranger in a Strange Land. Has anyone read it? Like, I definitely read, like, all the words passed from my eyes into my brain. A third of them stayed there. And I didn't realize how sexist it was until my uncle was like, I can't read that guy's books because all of the women are literally interchangeable. And you know what? That's true.
It's true.
Ooh, Nissy thinks they've got it. New question format. I also read Dune. Dune also, a lot of words, but less annoying words than were in Stranger in a Strange Land. Whoops, I did it backwards. Suffering. They made a book based on the movie. Yeah.
So this is the top voted order.
Guessing. Okay.
The top voted order is Foundation first, Brave New World second, Stranger in a Strange Land third, Dune as newest.
Can I try?
Sure.
I'm putting Brave New World first. Then I am putting Foundation, Stranger in a Strange Land, and Dune.
You got it right.
Oh almost. I mixed up Dune and Stranger in a Strange Land.
No, you didn't. No, you didn't.
No, I didn't.
Wait.
Because I said Brave New
that's
World
not you.
Foundation.
This got messed up.
Oh. Is that not the correct order?
I thought it. What the heck? No, the correct order is Brave New World, 1932, Foundation, 1951, Dune, 1965, and Stranger... No, wait, this is way off. What the heck happened here?
When was Stranger in a Strange Land?
So the correct answer is Brave New World, 1932, Foundation, 1951, Stranger in a Strange Land, 1961, and Dune, 1965.
Yeah.
So you had it right.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on the screen.
Brave New World's the 30s. Dune
Yeah.
is definitely Foundation is the 50s, I know. Dune is definitely a 60s nonsense.
There we go.
And Stranger in a
Now
Strange
it's
Land
right.
is
This is the correct order.
Yeah.
No one got it.
No one got it. No one got it. The dud was 2021. Every time I come here. Dune was 2021. Yeah, you all should have guessed it. Suffering for my birthday. Thank you all so much for suffering on this, the day we celebrate a life given in service to Fluval.
Yes, to me, Fluval, Grand Triviamaster of the Grand Aquarium
Dune
Empire.
in the wrong spot. I would have too. It is a cool question format, though.
So it's a cool format. I want to do this format more.
Yeah.
Hopefully without having to switch it on the fly, though I do like the suffering that inflicts on you. Well, let's see who our winner is in this special birthday episode of Grand Trivia. In third place, it's Klaatu Bootleg Barada Nikto. In second place, it's Science Fiction Walk Run. And that would be better if you got partial credit. And in first place, it's Maddie, whom named.
And Maddie, we have your address.
Yeah, you'll be getting a prize in the mail.
You will be getting a prize in the mail.
But there's one prize.
Oh, shit.
Everyone gets.
I might turn a sci-fi book into confetti.
Oh.
Don't worry, I'll make sure it's some right-wing screed.
It'll be destroyed just like this planet.
Yes!
And yeah, share your address with us at patreon.com/Radio Free Multiverse.
Moo.
No, not patreon.com/moo. Patreon.com/Radio Free Multiverse, where you can get trash, including remnants of planets like this.
Moo.
Thank you for joining us for this exciting special Intern Kristie episode of
Thank you so much,
Grand Trivia.
Grand Trivia, thank you so much for suffering for our amusement.
And be sure to join us again next week for Dungeons and Dragons Trivia.
Dungeons and Dragons Trivia?
Yes.
I didn't know we were doing D&D Trivia.
Yeah, next week it's Dungeons and Dragons Trivia.
Oh, we're doing D&D Trivia!
Yes, for episode 103 of Grand Trivia next week.
Isn't that sick, though? Bring your dice bags, nerds. Right, I want to go grab my dice.
Grab your dice. Roll a d20. We'll see you next week. We have your coordinates.
We do.
Boil them, mash them, stick them in a stew.
Here he comes. Swimming closer than farther away.
Fluval.